It's been a while since I've attempted this, but we're going to take a swing at the solo episode. That's right, this week it's all Tim from Ski Rex Media on the Ski Rex Media podcast. How you doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media here, taking a swing at the solo episode like I said. I have a little lull going here at the old Ski Rex Media HQ. I am setting up some new interviews for some new guests for the new year. So, Happy New Year. In fact, you should be hearing this after the new year. Well, alright, let's do this right. If you are a Patreon subscriber, then it is before the new year. It is, in fact, New Year's Eve. So, Happy New Year's Eve to you if you're listening on day one on Patreon, and we'll come back to that in a minute. If you are listening to this on the general audience version, the ad-having version on Wednesday, then Happy New Year. The Happy New Year has gone by already, so we're into the first week of January. I do believe it is the 3rd if you're listening to it on day one. So, Happy New Year to everybody, and then Happy New Year to Patreon. Happy New Year's Eve, and then Happy New Year has already gone by for everyone else, right? Right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get on to today's episode and what I was saying. I know I'm rambling a little bit. I'm a little off my game today, my friends. I really am. Is it because I'm doing a solo episode? No, not at all. Well, maybe. I mean, it's been a while since I've done it. Remember back in the first season when it was exclusively solo episodes before anyone really knew who Ski Rex Media was and what Ski Rex Media was? And we didn't have any guests. And then later we tested guests. And actually, you know who the first guest ever on the Ski Rex Media podcast was Tech Rob. So shout out to Tech Rob. He was my trial by fire. For those who know me, know that back in the day when I was learning about journalism and whatnot, knew that interviewing was always my Achilles heel. I was never all that great at it, and I've been practicing, as we know, because I've been doing guests, and I'm trying to line up some guests through January. I do have some lined up, and we're going to talk about a few things in January. We're going to talk about some equipment, one piece of which I'm testing myself. It's going to be very cool. We're going to talk about some stuff for the kids and kids camps out at King Pine. We're going to talk to a few other people. I have a few things going on, but today I'm off my game for real because I'm having technical difficulties out the backside. And now I'm even tongue tripping. Did you hear that? Couldn't even say technical difficulties. So I'm having some technical issues, which isn't, I can't even speak today. How bad is this? You know what? We're going to enjoy it. Why complain? I'm having technical issues. I'm going to try the solo episode anyway. That's what I'm going to do. But before I get into the episode, let's do something that I hope that I don't blow because I love doing it. Let's talk about Whaleback Mountain. That's right, Whaleback Mountain, my home mountain in Enfield, New Hampshire. One of the most accessible mountains I've ever seen. It is right on Interstate I-89. You could spit from the interstate and hit a car's windshield in the parking lot right off exit 16. It's the biggest game off exit 16. There's not much off that exit, and Whaleback is the place to be. In fact, I've been there a couple times already. Not skiing, though. I've been there as a lifty. So if you do head to Whaleback, take a look for Ski Rex Media. I might be working one of the lifts. If it's a Tuesday or Wednesday evening, I'm on one of those lifts somewhere. You could say hello to me. You could say hello to everyone at Whaleback. Come to Whaleback. It's awesome. It's everything you'd want, and it's all in a small package. You want groomed trails? They have groomed trails. You want natural trails? They have natural trails. You want trees? They got trees. You want a terrain park? They got that. Anything you want or need, they have it in this small package that is wonderful for you and your family. They're very family-centric, very friendly on the wallet, and this season they are a full Indy Pass partner. So if you have an Indy Pass, you have 2 days waiting for you at Whaleback Mountain. You now have no excuse to come check out Whaleback Mountain, and I think you're going to love it. I love it. Everyone I talk to loves it. Never hear a bad thing about it. It's a great place. I think you should come check it out. Exit 16 off I-89 in Enfield, New Hampshire. Cheap and easy. You'll love it. Whaleback Mountain. Ski it to believe it. So this first solo episode comes from a social media post that I put up a couple days ago in real time. But, well, you know what? Let's talk about that first. Do you follow Ski Rex Media on social media? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn? Go ahead and follow over there. You'll see that I have been putting up, or no, I put up specifically a post about audience participation, audience help. I want to try the Q&A thing. I'm not doing that today. I would like to try the Q&A episode. You ask Ski Rex Media a question, I'll answer it. Do you want to ask a personal Ski Rex Media question? Go for it. Do you want to ask an industry question? Go for it. Do you just want to shout out a friend or family member for their birthday, anniversary, some other holiday? Do you just want to do a goofy shout out just to be on the podcast? If you want to, you can do that too. I am looking for some audience participation because I would like to try the Q&A episode. And if you want to add some silly stuff, that's fine too. I put out the post that suggested using a DM through social media, so Twitter DM, Facebook DM, Instagram DM, even LinkedIn has DMs, direct messages. You can ask your question that way. You can send an email to Ski Rex Media if you'd like, contact@skirexmedia.com. Very easy. That link is also on all of my social media, and it's also on the website. Very easy to find. It'll also be in the description, so check the description. You can leave a comment on that post. You can find it very easily, and I'm sure I'll post it again so you can see it. You can leave a comment with your question, and I'll answer it on the podcast. That's fine too. Or you could even go to speakpipe.com/skirexmedia. Link will be in the description. Link is on the social media. Link is on the website, and leave Ski Rex Media a voicemail, which has been done. I have my very first voicemail, and it was left by Phil Puglisi from skitalk.com. Shout out to Phil. I don't know those folks personally. I've never worked with them personally. I did work with Rudy. He's been he's popped up on Ski Rex Media once in a while from the Killington race. He's worked for them, and he left it. I haven't checked it yet, but I do know it's him, and I do know it's there, and I'm very excited about it. So shout out to Phil, shout out to skitalk.com, shout out to anybody else who would like to use the voicemail. That's speakpipe.com/skirexmedia, or the link in the description, or the link in the usual places. You can leave me a voicemail as well at any time. But for the Q&A episode, it would be awesome if you did. So please, participate in the Q&A episode. I think it could be a lot of fun. And again, if you have something goofy instead, send something goofy through, a random comment, whatever. It could be a lot of fun. But for this episode, if you saw the title wherever I posted it, which was in many places, and I'm sure you saw it on your favorite podcast app or the Podbean app, if that's the one you use, I have a story or two to tell from my whaleback lifty experiences. This one is very specific. I don't know if it's going to be in the book. I'm still writing the book from when I did this last season. It's taken me almost a year to write the book that I've been teasing about my experiences being a lifty, moonlighting as a lifty at Whaleback Mountain. And I'm finally in the final stages of doing that. So keep an eye out for that. As time goes on, I am going to be an author, and we're going to do it. It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be awesome. But this one in particular is what I'm thinking about because I honestly, it kind of blows my mind. So here's the gist. This week, the holiday week, Whaleback opened up on the 26th, so the day after Christmas, Boxing Day. In fact, I wished many people a happy Boxing Day. Got a few laughs for it because who knows what Boxing Day is. We don't really do that here in the U.S., but our Canadian friends do, our UK friends do. So, shout out to them. Shout out to the holiday season, man. There's so many that go on here in December, from Christmas to Boxing Day to Hanukkah to Kwanzaa, New Year's, people's birthdays, whatever it is. There's holidays to beat the band in December. It's the holiday season. And, so I wanted to do the happy Boxing Day thing. So you never know what might come out of my mouth. But what comes out of my mouth as a lifty, greeting, trying to be try to get my customer experience on. They call it customer experience or guest experience. Try to make a good guest experience, being friendly, being personable, smile on the face, a few jokes, being knowledgeable, being informative, and all this, that, and the other. I try to do all that. And what's amazing is how I am outperformed in some of my bits by some of the smallest people on the mountain. Now, let me get myself back on track here. The mountain opened, Whaleback Mountain opened on the 26th. Learning area only. It's been a challenging beginning of the season for everyone. And the smaller the hill, the more challenging it has been. If you don't have a lot of snowmaking, and even if you do, the rain has been kicking the stuffings out of New England. Like, the rain is ridiculous. I don't remember rain like this. And I'm not talking just about the season in December. I'm talking it's been raining for months. You've heard about the flooding that's happened on and off throughout New England. Shout out to those who had to deal with the flooding. I hope everybody's okay from the flooding. It's really made for a challenging season, a challenging beginning of the season. Very little snow. November looked great. We thought we were going to get it, with the stuff that was falling in November, and come December and now into January, it's been raining again, and it's been very challenging. So anyway, the point was that Whaleback only had their learning area open. Awesome. They had their kids camps. Awesome. Groups of kids come up learning how to ski. So much fun. Bunch of little ones on the mountain. Now, here's the thing. This is where this comes from. I posted a quick post on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook about a kid who was coming up the magic carpet. That was the lift I was working most of those days, those 2 days. He come up the magic carpet, said something to me about, he actually asked me, is it magic? And I told him, yeah, of course it is. It's magic carpet, dude. It's great. Some of the things that come out of these kids' mouths are amazing. Kids say the darndest things. Kids say the most incredible, ridiculous, I don't want to say unfiltered. Some of it's unfiltered, but it's the thought process. Anybody can be unfiltered, but a kid's thought process, how it comes out, what they say to a person, it's amazing. They say things. I'm standing at that lift and they ask you things like, is the magic carpet magic? I say yes. They ask things about the snow. They ask, you know what they asked me more than once? I took this bit too. I 100% stole a bit from a bunch of kids because to them it wasn't a bit. To them it was to them it was a legitimate question, 100%. And they asked me. They said, "What grade are you in?" I'm going to be 45 in February. February 22nd is Tim from Ski Rex Media's birthday. The same as George Washington, our first president. These children asked me, "What grade are you in?" So any adult who was there is not part of the group, but just showing their kid how to do it. I was asking them because they were coming up in the line with the group. 100%. They were, and they were coming. I asked the adults what grade they were in. Got a few laughs. It's just funny. It's just funny. They say the darndest things. I wish I could remember some more of what they asked offhand, because they're asking about, you know what else they're doing? You know what else they're doing? This is gross. If you are a ski instructor, if you are a parent, or if you're a child watching this, please don't eat the snow that we're skiing on, dude. That's just gross. It's so gross, dude. I swear to you, I saw more than one of these, and here's the grossest. I saw more than one of these kids. They're coming up the magic carpet, and they reach down, they wipe the snow off their skis. Fine, but I've seen a couple of them pick up a chunk and start to eat it. Now, as a child, the only real rule I had to deal with, because I didn't start skiing until I was 12, the only real rule I had to deal with when eating snow was don't eat yellow snow. It's pretty common, pretty basic. I think that's one of the things that unites us all as a species, the human race, as it would be. We all know you don't eat yellow snow. You just don't. And that actually goes on to other filthy, dirty snow. And while ski snow might not look dirty, I was walking in it and I had to walk from the parking lot, which was muddy. There's wax and goo, and then, it's so gross. I couldn't believe that some of these kids were picking it up and going at it. Will it actually hurt them? I don't know. When they actually picked it up off the magic carpet belt, that one was double gross because I know a couple of us had to step on it, with our shoes. Now remember, I'm not wearing ski boots. The other lifties, we're not really wearing ski boots. Sometimes we are, but not the majority of the time we're wearing our regular boots. That's gross. Please tell your children not. A PSA from Ski Rex Media, Tim from Ski Rex Media, do not let your kids eat the gross skeet on snow. Or, you know what, maybe do it. It's your kid. I'm not telling you how to parent. Telling you how to parent. There's only a few parents I tell them how to parent in my life, and you are not one of them. You do what you want to do. Shoot, if you're an adult and want to do it, great. If you're one of these people who sees Tim from Ski Rex Media on the top of the magic carpet and you come do it just to gross me out and then let me know that's why you're doing it, kudos to you. 100%. But that's a whole other thing. Just warn your kids. Anyway, not the point. The point was kids say the darndest things on these lifts, and they ask you the darndest questions about skiing. They ask you, about pizza, French fries, how it got the name. It's like, well, dude, you can relate to it. You can relate to pizza and French fries. What kid doesn't like pizza and French fries? What adult doesn't like pizza and French fries? That's something else that unites us as human race. Pizza. Peace through pizza, my friends. It's a thing. I might write a book about that too. But they do say the darndest things. They really do. And it's really amazing. They'll ask adults what grade they're in. They'll ask about, how the lift works. And that's not really a darndest thing. There's adults who will ask how the lift works. I did have a kid. He asked his question about how the lift worked, how the magic carpet worked, but it was more of a statement about how he thought it worked. And I was like, that's close enough, man. Please move forward so we don't have a pile up. Yeah, kids say the darndest thing on these lifts, man, and they really do, and I do enjoy it because that's part of the fun. Plus, they just have a good time. You see, the thing that really... I know this episode is kind of supposed to be focused around what they say, but it's, again, more not really what they say, but how they say it. And they do that through the whole process of learning how to ski. They're just very free. They're very open. They don't care about just sitting there in a lump while they're waiting for the rest of the group to come up and their instructor to send them on their way. They have no shame. That's really what it comes down to. No shame. And that's a beautiful thing. And you could say, Tim, shouldn't people be ashamed of some things? Obviously, you should be ashamed of some things, but a general sense of shame, a general sense of being self-conscious. They don't have that. They don't know that. It's one of the beautiful things about learning how to ski and snowboard when you're little. You might care if you fall, if you're not as into taking a bump, but you don't care what you look like doing it. You're not necessarily embarrassed by it. You're frustrated. When you see a kid start crying with their ski or snowboard learning experience, it's not embarrassment. It's frustration. It's frustration. Remember, as adults, we may swear and cuss and yell and kick and break things when we're frustrated and angry. Kids don't generally do that, I don't think. And I could be wrong about that. I don't work with kids as much as I did a long time ago. But their frustration comes out in a pure emotional just cry. It's probably better. It's probably better. All the more reason. See what this episode's turned into? All the more reason that if you have a child or if you have a friend who has a little one, get them out there now. Get them out there now. And then don't try to teach them not to be, don't give them the chance to get the shame. Some of the best actors that we watch now have zero shame. Zero, what's the word I'm looking for? Zero inhibition. Obviously, that has to be nuanced depending on what we're doing. But don't be afraid to talk to people. These kids talk to me all day. They don't know me. They have no idea who I am. I'm just the guy at the top of the lift. They don't even read my name tag. I bet you a bunch of them actually know. Some of them do know my name because some of them are very interested in that. They come up the lift. That's the first thing. What's your name? Very interesting to me. I don't know. It's just an interesting experience to be there as the kids are learning how to ski, especially with the better instructors. Not that my job there is talent assessment, but there are some who are better than others. Some who are more suited for children. Shoot, one of my co-worker lifties, she's 100% suited to it. We were talking about it. We both agreed. She agreed with me. I said, dude, I think you missed your calling. She's like, I think I did. Kids are wonderful. Kids are great. Get them out on the hill. Listen to the crazy stuff they have to say. It's amazing. As they will ask an adult what grade they're in. They will ask you how things work. They will ask you how they're doing. They will tell you all about another one of the kids and how they know them. I had a kid the other day. He says to me, he's like, I know him. Completely out of the blue. I didn't even notice there was another kid there. Beyond the fact that he was a body and I wanted to get off the lift safely. I did that job, but I didn't specifically, focus on that child. You know what I mean? And this other kid's like, I know him. Where do you know him? He's in my school. I was like, is he your friend? He's like, yes. I was like, are you going to talk to him? Like, don't talk to me, talk to your friend, man. It's a whole thing. It's a great experience. That's what this episode really is. It's not just kids say the darndest things. We all know the mind of a child, the innocence, again, not a lack of a filter, but the shame and the thought process and the innocence and how it translates onto the ski learning experience, on the snowboard learning experience, learning snow sports of every type, skiing, snowboarding, cross country, I'm sure. Shoot, if you take a kid out on a snowmobile or a sled, I mean, we all learn sledding. Some of us learn sledding first. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful experience. It is a wonderful experience. These kids have fun. And the thing is, I think adults, we get fear. We act out in frustration in a different way. We are afraid to get hurt. We're afraid to take a bump. And the learning curve, I would say, is a little different for an adult because we are tall. Think about it. We have more body to work with. These little kids, they're only up to our knee. So they're not falling very far, and it gives them a better center of gravity, and there's not much that they have to work with. We have to work with a lot more. Not to say adults shouldn't do it. We had a few brand new adults who were doing it. Take lessons. If you saw on social media that I put up the post about taking lessons, please take lessons. It'll make your life a ton easier. It'll make the lifties' lives a ton easier. It'll make everybody's life easier if you just take your lessons. But if you're not, stay in the easier places. And this one, it was two couples from Birmingham, Alabama, man, and they were going at it, and they were having a good time, and they were doing okay. And the beauty of it was that it was kind of rainy and crummy. So after the kids groups were done, they had the whole place to themselves for like an hour. They were like the only 4 people on the magic carpet. So they were able to do a little bit, they were able to be a little bit free, but they were having a good time. And I was trying to suggest to them, if you come back to New England, come back here, take lessons. We were talking about skiing in the South. Like, where can you go? I don't think of anything. I can't think of anywhere offhand. I don't know what's the closest to Alabama, honestly, offhand, even though it's not that I don't know geography. I know U.S. geography, believe me. And I've been to Alabama. Like I've traveled a great majority of this country by car, not just flown somewhere. I've seen places that I'll never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. That's, you know that song, and that's a big part of it. There's the other one. I've been everywhere, man. Not everywhere, but a lot of places, a lot more than some people. Anyway, not the point. We were talking about skiing in the South, and I suggested over Gatlinburg in Nashville, Tennessee. That's not that big of a haul from Birmingham, Alabama, as I recall. It's a haul, but you know what I mean. I was like, you gotta Stick with it. If you all enjoy it, stick with it. And it's wonderful. And watching the kids is wonderful. And it's a whole thing. Everybody should ski. At least try it. At least try it. Ski, snowboard, it doesn't matter. Try it all. Get out there. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you're listening to this, you probably already enjoy it. You know what I mean? But kids say the darndest things. If you get to ski and ride with a little one, do it. Let them talk to you. They are just chatterboxes. They'll tell you all about their experience. And you never know, you might learn something. Or you might get the chance to teach something within that, no inhibition speech that they have. Right? Right. We're getting close to a half hour here. So we're going to keep it to about a half hour for the solos. Because I don't know if I can keep you entertained for an hour like we keep you entertained with guests. There are guests coming. There are 100% guests coming. And again, we're going to talk about a few things. Some gear. We're going to talk to some mountain management like I do. We'll get those questions and those stories. We're actually going to talk about booze. We're going to talk about booze this season on the Ski Rex Media Podcast. I don't drink, but I have someone on the line who's going to tell us all about their booze that they make. And, their spirits. Let's be professional. They make spirits. They're going to tell us how it's part of skiing. And there's going to be a history lesson there. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of fun. We might even bring the kids back on. Who knows? You never know who could show up on the old Ski Rex Media Podcast. But for this week, probably next week, it's going to be me. Well, it's going to be me with some fan interaction. Please participate in the Q&A or the fan interaction episode if there's more statements than questions. I told you how to do that. Go to Ski Rex Media's Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Send me a DM. Comment on the post with a question or a comment or a query or a statement. Use the speakpipe.com/skirexmedia link in the description to leave the voicemail. Please, let's do that. I think that could be a lot of fun. Let's get some fan interaction going. You know what I'm saying? Plus, head over to my Patreon. You can get in touch with me there too. You get the Ski Rex. There's all kinds of tiers. I just went through and redid them. There's the podcast tier where you will get the podcast early. You will not only get the podcast early, but you will get it ad-free. That's $1 a month. If you follow me on social media, you saw that I put out about the Poser Chronicles. I wanted to try a magazine, get Ski Rex Media into print. And I couldn't really generate a lot of interest. So what we're going to try, because it would have been $10 an issue, we're going to try it e-magazine style, e-zine, ebook. We all know what ebooks are this day and age. We're going to try that. You go to Patreon, you can buy single issues for $5 a pop, or you could subscribe and get them monthly sent to you for $3 a pop. Then there's a combination. There's a couple things going on over there. Head to my Patreon, patreon.com/skirexmedia. You'll find a lot of these things are /skirexmedia because my name, Ski Rex Media, is actually unique enough that it's not taken by anybody else. Go ahead and check those things out. Links in the description, skirexmedia.com if you need to know where to go. Keep an eye out for the new merch shop. It's coming. It's late again. I'm still trying to figure a few things out with that. I'll get it in the end. Keep enjoying the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app or the Podbean app. You can do that there. It's also the audio version is on YouTube. So if you want to watch on YouTube, you can subscribe there as well. And don't forget to check out Whaleback Mountain, my partner. You heard it in the ad read at the beginning of the episode. Or if you have the Patreon subscription, you didn't hear the ad read because you got it ad free, right? Right. This is Tim from Ski Rex Media. Thank you for listening. I hope you listened to this whole thing. I say that, but if you're hearing this, then you heard the whole thing. And I will see you out there. I'm definitely going to be skiing this week, or I've already skied, but I will be out on New Year's Day. That is in the forecast. Tim from Ski Rex Media will be skiing on New Year's Day. So if you listen to the Patreon show, I'll be out tomorrow. If you are listening to the Wednesday show, I was out 2 days ago. Right? Right. Thank you all for listening, kids. And I will see you on the next. Well, you'll hear me on the next one, and I'll see you out there, man. Later.